Well, Bob, you and Jan are both the Eagle Forever Award winners for 25. Tell me a little bit about what that means to the both of you.
Well, I'd never heard about it before, so it's certainly an honor, and we're pleased to participate in it, and we'll be there on homecoming day, right?
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
9:30 in the morning at the Upper Convo.
Yeah, we read all that.
Yep.
My wife said she doesn't get up that early.
Well,
She was only kidding.
we'll look forward to seeing everybody there. So tell me a little bit about, we'll talk, since Jan's not here, we'll gloat on her for a little bit.
Right,
Tell me about, obviously a lot of philanthropy with you and Jan with Ashland University Athletics, big fans. So how big of a fan is Jan?
I'll tell you, she loves basketball. She won't, even if she's not feeling well, she'll go to a basketball game. Football, when the weather's okay, she'll come. When the weather's bad, she's not going to show up. Volleyball, once in a while, but in the winter, she doesn't like to get out much, except for, like I say, it can be 6 inches of snow, we'll be at the basketball game. She loves the women. She loves Carrie.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit, let's go back to kind of your childhood. I don't know a whole lot about how you and Jan grew up, so I guess maybe the first question would be, how did you meet?
Well, the first time we met was in an 8th grade spelling bee.
Oh.
We didn't really know each other, but she sat behind me and I knew who she was and so forth. And of course I didn't win, but she went out before I did, so I hold that over. Okay, all right, okay. Yeah.
Well, I was in the spelling bee one time and missed on the word ghetto. I forgot the age, so we're all spelling bee buffs here, I guess. So,
but she went to New Philadelphia High School.
Okay.
I was in Uric, which is now Claymont, and she played in a sort of a band. She played the piano and so forth. And she'd come down once in a while to the Uricsville Youth Center. Once in a while, I go to the New Philadelphia Youth Center, and we sort of met each other, but really no connection. Then she went to Baldwin Wallace, I went to Case. Well, my junior year, one of my fraternity brothers said, "Hey, I got my girlfriend over there, and she's got a friend, and maybe we can have a double date." I said, "Well, okay, I'll go along with it." Well, that's how I met her then, for real. And then we sort of struck it off, and next thing you know, we got married on March 31st, 1957, when we graduated.
that was going to be my next question, is how long? So 68 years, right?
68 years. Our goal is to get to 70.
Oh, okay. That's outstanding. So when did you end up moving to Ashland?
73.
Okay.
We came to Ashland, and we had moved about 7 times. My wife says, "We're not moving anymore. This is the last stop," okay? So we moved to Ashland. Of course, all of our kids, we had 3 kids, and all the houses before, we had 3 bedrooms, and the 2 boys were always together. We said, we got to have a 4-bedroom house. Well, in 1973, there were no 4-bedroom houses in Ashland, not one that we could find. So we decided to build a house. Well, of course, that took sort of a year. So we were living in Mayfield Building because I worked at White Motors. And then once the house was built, then we moved in, and we've been here ever since.
That's fantastic. So the other thing that people know, obviously, they know you from supporting AU Athletics, being at the games and things like that, but also Kent Water Sports. So tell me a little bit about how all that came about.
Well, Kent Water Sports, back then it was called Kent Sporting Goods.
Okay.
And in New London, if you go up there today and say, "Did you ever work at Kent?" They'll say, "Yeah, we worked at Kent's." They never say Kent Sporting Goods, always
Okay.
Kent's, okay?
Okay.
So I had worked for Eagle Rubber, and Brown Group owned Kent. Well, came about 1979, 80. A lot of companies, if you go back early 70s, everybody was acquiring everybody. Well, then when the recession came along in 79 and 80 under Reagan and Volper, and Reagan became president, people said, "Hey, we gotta divest because this isn't working." So we got a chance to buy Kent at a really good deal, 6 of us, and we decided to go ahead and do it, and never looked back. And we took it from the year we bought it was like $1.5 million, and when we ended up retiring and selling it, it was like $300 million. So
Wow.
it was a pretty good growth.
In Little New London, Ohio.
Little New London, Ohio. Now, if you buy a life vest today, still, Kent Water Sports made and sold more life jackets than anybody else, and we were #1 in the world. If you pick, I don't care where you buy it today, whether it's at Costco or Dick's or whoever, you pick up the label, say Kent Water Sports, New London, Ohio.
That's awesome.
Because that's where the UL and Coast Guard approve all these things. And once you get the license, that's what you have to keep in it. So everything was developed in New London. Even though today there's no production in New London, but still, it says inside the light, that's New London.
That's the most important thing.
That's right.
So not only with your athletics, and we'll go back to that in a second, but you're also involved with the university as a whole in a very big way, being on the board. So the investment in the university as a whole, how big is that for you?
You say how big? You mean in terms of time, money, or what?
Just how big is that for you personally to be as involved in the entire athletic department, or the entire school?
All my life, I've had a lot of energy, and I don't like to be sitting around doing nothing. I mean, as long as I'm around, I want to be productive. I have an office in Dock, 204. I have interns still working for me today. In fact, I had a meeting this morning with Prakash Benjara. We're working on a retention policy for records. The one I had before was on the IDMS, the Integrated Data Management System. I had 6 interns that I was working with, and we developed a program, and now it's it. And we're part of Microsoft Power BI. So I've been doing all those things. Now, John Petey and I spent a little time together talking about how things should go and so forth. So he's been a breath of fresh air. He's really into operations. He's doing a great job.
So for you and Jan personally, how did the interest in AU athletics begin?
Well, I think if you go back to, well, when I first came here, Musselman was here.
Yes,
okay.
Bill Musselman.
And I'd come to a basketball game, and a crowd, in fact, I'd sit over there, and you couldn't get a seat. We didn't have the reserves like we on this side. And of course, Tuffy would come out of the upright, well, this room wasn't here then. He'd come out on a rope and come down the floor, and of course the band would be playing the Globetrotter song. It was wild. I mean, it was unbelievable. So you couldn't help but come. This was the place to come. and then the thing sort of slowed down, but then in 2013, when they went all the way, I said, hey, ever since I can't miss a game. And of course, I'm going to a lot of away games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
yes. So you and Jan, it's not just Case Gymnasium or Jack Miller Stadium. We see you all over the state.
Right, yeah. We love everything.
And obviously, one of the big emphases for you as well, and I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but is the booster clubs.
Yep.
And we've gone from just having the Gridiron Club and both basketballs, and now we've got several booster clubs. So how important was it for you to kind of get those things going?
Well, I'll give credit to Robin Freilich. I mean, she wanted to do more things and so forth. And of course, there was sort of a pressure here. The Gridiron Club, that was it. And there were some people who weren't for it. But Robin said, hey, we're going to have it. So she contacted Dwight McElfresh and me. And we got together and said, hey, we got to do this thing. And we started working together. We got Jack Miller involved. And of course, we did things for Sue Ramsey to get the endowment fund and so forth. But it just made sense. And of course, now we've got, 7 booster clubs.
Yeah.
And it's important because, let's face it, AU can't afford to do all that they need to do to support athletics. So these booster clubs really fill a role and make a lot of things happen that couldn't have happened before.
And the Eagle Forever Award is not your first honor. Last year, you and Jan were honored by the Ashland County Sports Hall of Fame with one of their awards as well. So, I mean, obviously, sports are a big part of you and Jan's life, and it's got to be just a thrill to be able to be recognized for that.
Yeah. Well, I played football for our team. Back when I went to school, we had football, basketball, and track. Baseball was American Legion only, and I played all the sports. And football, I was a left-handed quarterback. Basketball, I was a point guard until my senior year when I was the tallest guy. Then they put me on a post. And then track, that was not my favorite sport. But I love baseball. I was a left-handed pitcher.
Well, I'm a lefty too, so I didn't know you were left-handed. So that's fantastic. So finally, Bob, on October 11th, when we get together at the Hall of Fame ceremony before the homecoming game, and you and Jan are up there on the dais getting presented with the Eagle Forever Award, what do you think that'll be with hundreds of people standing there and giving your speech? What do you think that'll be like that morning?
Yeah, just be like, we gave a commencement speech a few years ago.
Yes.
And so Jan and I did. That'll be sort of a repeat of that, just sort of say a few words. And I think thank everybody supporting AU and keep supporting AU. Let's face it, AU and Ashland go together. If we lost either one, this town would die. We need AU is very important to this community.
Absolutely.
And we want to be around, 1878. I want to be around for 2978 or whatever.
Well, Bob, again, congratulations to you and Jan. We're looking forward to October 11th.
Well, thank you for the time today. I appreciate it.